So welcome to Hammers Court. This is your new property. To open it, you'll be issued a fob. And to open it, the front door, you literally just put your fob on there, which disengages the door and you can walk in. If you have a visitor that would like to attend the building, they just press your door number, press the green button, which will then dial through to your individual unit. We're now in the main entrance of the building. To access the lift lobby, again, use your fob. Hold it on the button there, which will open the door and allow you to walk through. Once a visitor is in through the main door, they will then need to dial your flat number again. Simply press your door number, press the green button, which will dial your unit. From there, you can disengage the door to allow them to the lift lobby. We're now at the lift lobby. To call the lift, simply press the button, which will call the lift to this floor, and simply walk in and press what floor number you want to go to. As well as the lifts, there is also a communal staircase. To access the staircase, use your fob. Simply engage it and the door will open. We're now at the front door of your new unit. To open the front door, simply stick the key into the keyhole and turn clockwise, which will disengage the lock and allow you access. So now we're inside the flat. To lock your front door, simply turn the thumb turn clockwise, which locks the unit. We've also got the security chain, which is for added security for the resident in the unit. On the front door itself, we have two spy holes, one here and one here, which will enable the resident to look through to see who's outside the door. And here is your bathroom. To open the door, simply open the door and the light is on the outside of the. Turn the light on and then you walk in what is your wet room. And we have an electronic towel rail that's here, which is turned on externally by the isolator. If you turn that on, that will turn the power onto the towel rail and then is controlled by turning on the off button and then by plus or minus to increase or decrease the temperature. We then have your shower, which has a handhold shower and an overhead shower, which is accompanied by a drop-down seat and individual grab rails. In its current position, up is for the handheld shower hose, and if you were to turn it to the right, that is for your overhead shower. To turn your shower on and off, simply twist this lever, and then here is your thermostatic mixer, which is currently set to 39 degrees. You can alter the temperature by twisting this up or down. Also within your bathroom, you have a toilet and then a basin. The basin water temperature is set at 39 degrees. The tap itself is operated using the handle, and you can see the blue for cold and red for hot. Turn it to what your desired temperature is, and it opens and closes like that, and the temperature is set to 39 degrees. The toilet itself has a drop-down rail next to it and can be used and operated by pulling the lever. We're now at bedroom 1. To access, simply open the door. Inside the bedroom, you have a light to the right-hand side of the door, and then in the bedroom, you have sockets on the wall for power, like this one here, and you also have TV sockets with aerial ports. And again, on this wall, we have the same. Next to the bed, you have another light, which enables you to turn the lights on and off from being within your bed. And there is also a double socket, which has a USB and a USB-C inputs for it. And there's also a telephone, which can open the ground floor doors. In each of the bedrooms, you have an electric radiator, which is like this. In its current position, the power is turned on, and the radiator is operated by the control panel on top. Simply press up or down to alternate the temperature. So we're now into the flat, and we have a storage cupboard, which is double doored because it allows access for disabled charging. Doors are opened as shown, and there is a double power socket inside to charge electric batteries. In the corridor of your unit, you have an intercom on the wall here. When a visitor presses the button for your door number, it will call here, and you can open the front doors using the buttons along the bottom. So this is now bedroom 2. Again, to open the door, simply engage the handle. Similar to the first bedroom, you have double sockets on the wall, a TV aerial point, and also the electric radiator. And on the bed head wall, you also have 2 double sockets, which has USB and USB-C inputs. Within your individual units, you will have windows. The windows are operated via a key, which locks and stops the window from opening. To unlock it, simply input the key, turn it 90 degrees, and then to open the window, you simply press the button, turn anti-clockwise 90 degrees to open. Once your window is open, they can be extended further by pressing the 2 buttons within the reveal that say press, and the window then opens further. We're now in the kitchen, which is here. And the kitchen is made up of wall units around here and low-level units as well. In this kitchen is an M43 kitchen. We have a rise and fall hob space and also a rise and fall sink area. Within inside the kitchen, we have a lockable medicine cupboard, which is simply operated by twisting the lock, opening. And to close it, simply close the door and turn the key. The key can be removed, and the cupboard therefore stays locked. The remainder of the cupboards within the kitchen are simply operated by opening and closing the doors. Within each of the units, we have some drawers, and again, they are simply opened by pulling out the unit as shown. Within this M43 unit, we have a rise and fall space for your hob. To engage the rise and fall, simply push the handle into the hole, and the unit, by twisting the handle, rises down or up to the desired height for the end user. To remove the handle, simply pull out. Within this unit again, we have a rise and fall sink space. Simply push the handle inside the hole and rotate to remove down or up to rise the unit to the desired height for the end user. And the tap in the sink is simply operated by lifting the handle up or down to turn the water on and off, turning it clockwise for hot water or anti-clockwise for cold water. The spout also rotates. Within the sink itself, we also have a plug which can be engaged by pushing it down, which will allow water to be filled up within the sink. And if you simply pull it out, it allows water to drain. Just here, we have a gap left for a dishwasher space. Underneath, we have the waste and the water already isolated in place. You will note here there's a space left for a built-in oven, and there's also a full height tiled section which is ready to receive a fridge freezer. So we're now in your living space, and on this wall we have input for your satellite TV and your FM DAB radios, and we also have double sockets. And there is also a sliding double door for your balcony. To open it, simply insert the balcony door key, rotate, push down the handle and slide to open. To close the door, simply reverse process, pull the door over, lift the handle, insert the key, and the door is therefore locked. Within the main entrance we have a cylinder cupboard. To open the cylinder cupboard, simply open the door. There is also a chute bolt at the top which enables both doors to open. My colleagues will now explain a bit more about the M&E within the cupboard.
Hot water is via a Valiant air source heat pump cylinder. It's fully automatic. Once you set your times, temperature, you shouldn't have to use it, and it responds as and when you use the hot water. This is the incoming water stopcock to the flat. This will turn off your hot and cold services to all of the sanitary items. In addition, each sanitary item has a ball affix valve to isolate individual ones. Ventilation to the property is from Ventaxia MVHR. The unit is continuously on recirculating air around the property. When you use the bathroom, the system will boost with humidity. It was detect humidity and boost. The only maintenance are the filters, which should be checked periodically.
This is your main consumer unit in the property. Obviously, this houses all your circuits throughout the building, all identified quite clearly as to what circuit does what. If there is a fault at any time on the circuit, they are all RCD protected, which they will trip. If you do come to your fuse board and there is a circuit off, just reset it. If it doesn't reset, it keeps tripping. Just check the appliance that you literally just plugged in, because that could be a faulty appliance, which means that is still tripping. Other than that, that is it. That is your main switch. That will isolate everything in the flat. And obviously these ones are your individual circuits throughout the flat. Also, in addition to the MVHR, your ventilation system, there is also a manual boost button in the kitchen, which is situated on the grid switch. It says fan boost. But once you switch it on, you must remember to switch it off, because otherwise it will just stay boosted at all times. Obviously, you've got smoke detection throughout the property as well. And what you should do on a weekly test, basically, is all you do is you just press the button, and in turn, that will set the alarms off. And they will quieten down once they've gone through the system, and they will stop. That is your weekly, monthly check. So your smoke detector in here is literally above me, but they are around the property as well. You've got a combined smoke and heat in the kitchen, so don't burn the toast. And you've got them in the bedrooms and the hallways. So this is your main kitchen area. This is the grid switch I previously spoke about. On this grid switch, you control all your appliances, your washing machine, dishwasher, fridge, freezer, and your cooker hood, and your fan boost.
Within each of the units, you will note these flush plates on the ceiling. They are the sprinklers within each of the rooms. In the internal staircase, there is a dry riser outlet. There is also CCTV and lockable switches for the maintenance company.
This is the reset panel for the AOV windows and roof vents. On a fire alarm activation, the roof vents will automatically open. To close them after an activation on the fire alarm, you break the glass and hit the reset button. This is the fire alarm panel for the building. Obviously there's an activation. It will tell you exactly what device has gone off. To silence the alarm, you can press silence, and then to mute the panel, because it will continue to buzz, just press mute.
We're now standing at the residential bike store. To simply open the door, simply use your fob onto the access reader, which will open the door. So we're now at the residential bin store. To open the door, simply use your fob, hold it onto the reader, which releases the door. For the bin refuge team, you'll be issued a code. Simply input the code and press E, which will disengage the locks and allow access to the residential bin store. For the maintenance team, adjacent to the lifts on each floor, you'll see a double set of doors, which is your mechanical riser. Simply insert the FB2 key, rotate to open the door, and pull. There's a chute bolt at the top. If you disengage that, it will open both of the riser doors, which leads you to the mechanical water risers for each of the flats. Within the mechanical riser itself, you will see the water supply for each of the unit. There's a drain-off valve for each unit, clearly labelled up what flat is what, a water meter, and also an isolation valve. Within the riser itself, you'll note the orange pipe. This is for our sprinkler system. It's in the locked open position and should not be tampered with. Next to the staircase, you'll see this single door, which is the electrical riser for the floor. Simply insert your FB2 key, turn clockwise, and open the door. Inside this riser, you will note the isolation switches for each of the units and also the electricity meters, all of which is clearly labelled up to what unit it belongs to. On the first floor within the riser, you will note there is the emergency lighting testing point.